Hello everyone, this is Missy Gainer. I wanted to do this tutorial to show you one of the ways that I use layers. First, please go to your internet browser and search for Andreas Maschke's homepage. And here's the address up here. And then go down to Wildfire Video Tutorials and click on that. And then scroll down to this one right here. JWildfire video tutorial, flowers and layers in 2D. Take that tutorial first, and then you'll have a basic understanding on how to do and use layers. Okay, back to JWildfire. I've chosen this one to show you what layers can do, or the way that I use them. This is a beautiful flame created by Catherine Boyer, and I used it with permission. I changed it up a little bit and made it gold because gold is my favorite color. Okay, as you can see, we are in the Layers tab, and we have just one layer here. Okay, this is what I do. Oftentimes, not always, but often, I will take this layer, and first thing I do is add a final, and I keep it on linear 3D. That way I can move things around if I need to, and all the subsequent layers will have that ability as well. You can add it on each layer, but I find just putting it on the first one and then duplicating is better. So now that we have this layer, let's go down to duplicate. And as you will see, we have two layers now. They're both the same. So then go up to linear 3D and click on this button, which is the resize button. Make sure it's changed color and activate it. And then what I do is I slide it to the left and I make that second layer a little smaller. Okay? And now I will go down to the second layer, which is the smaller one, and I will duplicate it again. And then on that layer I go up to linear and then use resize again, and I scroll to the left here with my mouse and I make that layer a little smaller. And I'll go down to layer 3 and duplicate that one. Right there. Go up to linear 3D. I must say that you need to be in post transform mode. So forgive me for not saying that earlier. You can push this button and it'll be enabled to go to post transform. And you can also, under the Affine tab, click it here. I should have mentioned that at the beginning. I'm sorry about that. So click on linear. Now resize it again. It's a little smaller. And then I'm going to duplicate it one more time. There you go. Click linear, post transform, and resize a little smaller. Okay, at this point I turn off my layer preview for a while. And if you'll notice, the final layer is brighter and it just gets darker. Well, I don't like that all the time. So what I will do is I'll go to the smallest one here and just go one up, and then I'll just change that to 1.2 in weight. Then I'll go up to then I'll go up to this one. I'll change that to 1.4. Go up to the next one. Change that one to 1. And then this top one here, the very first one, I will change to 1.8. Now they're all approximately the same as far as saturation goes and weight. And I like what it looks like. So now this is something that I do that not everybody does, but I would like to. It keeps things in order later, and you'll see why. Go to caption and type in a caption. Now this is the first layer, so this is the outside layer. So I will call this one outside 1. The next layer was this layer here, the second one. So I'm going to call that one outside 2. You can use your own language or system. It doesn't have to be like mine. Now I go to the third layer, which is this one right here, and since that's the center one, or the third one I did in the middle of these 6 or 5, excuse me. I call this one the middle. Then I go to the next one, layer 4, and that'll be the next one in right here, and I will call that inside 2. And then I go to the very center one, and I will call that inside 1. Use whatever naming system you want. But later on you'll see why I named them, so that it's easy to find the one that you would like to use. Okay, at this point this looks pretty cool, but this is kind of plain. It's pretty, but it's plain. So what I always do is use Mutagen. I love it because it will take one layer and do something. It'll take another layer and do something different. It'll keep some of them the same. And you can see what it's done to each layer and learn. And you can also get some beautiful images. So I'm going to take this into Mutagen. All you have to do is make sure this is the highlighted one, and it's the only one, so of course it's highlighted. And then hit Muta for Mutagen. Now look at the beautiful fractals that it has created using the different layers. I mean, like this one is different colors, kind of basically the same. They added some blue in this one. They're just beautiful. So I'm going to take one that I like, and I think, you know, just for fun, I'm going to double click the middle one, which is the original, and do it again and see what it comes up with. Okay, wow, these are pretty. I think what I'll do is I'll take this one here and bring it back to my editor with this button. All right, there we go. Now you need to turn on the layer preview, because you never know which one is which at this point, how they change them. You can't assume that the outer layer is the first one. So, but in this case it is. The outer layer is still the outer thing, and I like what it did. However, it's a little dark, so I might up the weight just a little. This is just my process, and I enjoy doing things that are different. So, with the layer preview right here, look at what it did to the next one. The next one appears to be the middle one. Anyway, you just check those and see what it's done. It changed the center one darker. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one here, and by using your preview you can figure out which one that is. I think that it is, this one. Well, we'll try it anyway. Click Linear 3D and make sure you're using the size button. And I'm going to, yes, I picked the right one. And I'm going to make it larger. Slide to the right to make it larger. And moved it out there to the outside. Add a little more dimension to the outside. Now I think I'll go to the middle one here. See what it did to that one. I think it needs to be a little bigger. So, oops, I forgot to click. You gotta always click the linear 3. And then just make it a little bigger. I like that. But there's a dot in the middle. So maybe I'll take one of these two that are pretty, and let's see that one. I'm going to duplicate that one right there, which is the outside number 2. I'm going to duplicate it and come down to the duplicated one, go up to linear, and I'm going to make that one smaller so it goes down to the center there. Maybe it'll kind of go around that little dot and look nice. Now we need to lower the weight definitely on this one. So you slide your cursor down. Whoops, too far. Let's see. There. Whoops, too bright. There. Now I think this one here is a little too dark, so I look at the preview here to find out which one it is. Not that one. Not that one. I can't remember which one it was. Layer number 2, layer number 3, that's it. Okay, now I'm gonna just up the brightness, or the weight, I should say, just a little. There we go, got a little brighter. I think that's really pretty. Now, a lot of people have asked me, is there any way to merge all these layers? No, there is not at this time. Just keep the layers, it's no big deal. Now, what I always do is I always go through Mutagen again, just to see what's happened. So, remember, here's the first image. Here's the image after we went through Mutagen and made a couple changes. Now I'm going to take it and just go through Mutagen one more time, see what happens. Well, that one's kind of pretty because it added red. I don't like the ones that moved it around too much. Click it again. Oh, that one's kind of pretty. Yeah. That one's kind of neat. It added that transform. Oh, now I can't decide. Just for fun, I'm going to click on this one, take it to the editor, and see what it did. Yeah, that's kind of neat, but I'm not going to use it. We'll stick with this one. Now, something you can do to play with gradients, because each layer has the same gradient because you duplicated it. So what I do, before I start switching gradients, I take an S shot of it, like that, and I double click that to be on the copy. So I always have the original. Gradient takes some time to load for me. I must have a lot. So what you can do here is you can go up to the gradient button. First of all, you need to pick your layer. I think I want to change that yellow layer, that one. So pick the layer you want and then go to the gradient. Now click the gradient button. You can slide this gradient around until you get a different color. Now watch what happens in the center. I'm going light that way, I go to the right, and I'm assuming the blue is going to come in here pretty soon. So there's the pretty blue. I like the darker blue. Yeah, that's kind of nice. Now you can do that with each layer. You can say you want this outer part changed to a blue. So I'll just go this way again and see what the blue looks like. Or whatever color you're changing this. There you go. This is just kind of my process when I create layered fractals. So that's kind of pretty. I think I'll keep that. Now, to me, this layer is a little bright. Maybe I can enlarge it a little. So let me find that layer by using layer preview. Pretty sure it's that one. Okay, so I go to linear and I'm going to change the size, see what it does. I kind of like it a little bit bigger. And remember, you can rotate. Click the rotate button and then select your cursor. That's kind of nice because that dot's in the center of these two dots. I might just do that with the others. Let's see. I think that blue one needs to be rotated a bit too. I don't have the best memory for which layer is which, so that's why I labeled them. Okay, so this one I think I'm going to rotate. See the blue layer in the middle? I'm going to rotate it. Well, let's see. I'm going to copy the outer layer, just the one above it. There you go. So, this is the process I go through when I am making layered fractals, and specifically ones that are round. Here's the original. Here's the Mutagen one. And then here's one with the fixed gradient. And I always take it over to my interactive render and I change the size to the size that I find to be a good size to fit my screen, and then I go from editor. And I always take a look at it here. Let it render up to maybe 100 or 200 depending. And so I think I like it. I don't see anything that I don't like. If I wanted to work harder, I might get rid of some of this brown right in here. So you can keep playing with it. I'm going to stop the render now. I think I like that, so I'll render it full size. So there you have it. That is how I make layered images using Layerz and Mutagen, and it's just my process. Everybody does things differently, but I like to share, so I wanted to share this all with you. So thanks for watching. I hope it gave you some good ideas. Have fun fractaling!